Good afternoon, YouTube family. Martinez Country Home here. It's February the 25th. Excuse me, 2022. excuse me. Excuse me. I was walking around, had a little walk during my lunchtime, and it's pretty cold out there. Probably like in the mid 30s, high 30s, somewhere on there. Not that bad, but for Texas weather, it's pretty cold. So, guys, what I wanted to talk about today was and I know it's been everybody's talking about it, but I wanted to talk about Ukraine and Russia. um, there's a lot of different ideas going around as to why Russia's there. What was the motive behind Putin, invading the Ukraine? Now, I've been following the Ukraine, Donbass and Ludansk. I think it's Ludansk, the second separatist region since it was going down in 2014. Um, I remember back then following all that. Uh, so there's I'm not a I'm not an intelligence agent. I don't have connections anywhere, but um, you know you don't have to be. The Western media, the media here in the United States, is gonna have their agenda. Um, is gonna push their narrative or whatever. um, Even Russia, they have it's like RT. They're Russian propaganda, but they're gonna report stuff that we're not gonna hear over here. Um, they're not gonna follow the narrative that the media has here. Now, I haven't looked at any RT as far as whatever RT is saying. I have not formulated any opinions or ideas as to why they're there. I have seen a lot of other articles and even from people on the ground there. But I do know, so, and it's completely different from what the media is saying here. Now, basically, the media here is making Putin out to be the bad guy. I'm not saying he's a good guy. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that the narrative here, the American narrative, is anti-Russian, right? Um, Now, this is not the so America, or let me rather, the American politicians have a lot of financial interests in the Ukraine. In my opinion, from what I know, the Ukraine is basically an American vassal state. That's the way I see it. They're being looted by certain politicians, um, by you know they're basically looting the resources of the people, their money. Um, so by Russia being in there, they're disrupting all that. The Russian military, they're throwing a wrench in the money making machine. Whatever they're doing, they're laundering money, whatever. All these things that are going on. This is not the first time that Russia has thrown a monkey wrench in what I call U.S. Inc. Plans. Right. The last time they did that was in Syria when they backed up Assad, and the United States had was using ISIS as a proxy army. Excuse me, and Al Qaeda. Putin went in there, and he backed up Assad, and he basically chased out ISIS like pretty fast. You had the U.S. military basically, using cover fire so that ISIS could leave. Um, you have the intelligence agencies over there running proxy armies and stuff like that to be able to do what they wanted to do, whatever was whatever was the mission goal. The Russians went in there and they disrupted all that. They ran off ISIS. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people do not understand that the United States, using mainly proxies, was trying to get Assad out. They were trying regime change, and they were not able to do it. They did have some troop boots on the ground there, but it was mainly proxy armies. People don't know that ISIS was a proxy army for the West. Now, in 2014, same thing happened in the Ukraine. You had now, this is from what I understand. You had the United States basically stage a coup in the Ukraine, and they basically switched out the government in favor of a pro-West, pro-American government. Um, you had they used a lot of they also had they used the proxy army to do that. They used Ukrainian militias, um, and other soldiers. I mean, so many times there was foreign soldiers there on Ukrainian soil. So in 2014, you had the separatists backed by Russia engage in basically war against the Ukraine. So there's a history here already of the West going into a country and trying to cause regime change, but what happened was these two regions in Ukraine, they decided to, like, you know what, we don't want none of that, and they basically separated themselves from the Ukraine. Russia has been backing them up all these years. I mean, there's been a lot of bloodshed. A lot of people don't know that there's bloodshed. Now, in there is, and you can look this up, guys. There is a lot of you know Ukrainian Nazi militias there that are engaging. And from it's been reported that they've committed a lot of atrocities there against the people of Donbass and the people of Ludansk. So I had to look all this up because I heard Putin talking about all this, and I started looking up a lot of alternative news sites to see what was really going on. And there's people on the ground, guys. There's actually people on the ground. Now, what really made me look even harder was that I was noticing, of course, the media here, MSNBC, CNN, Fox, they basically painting Putin as a bad guy, as the villain. Now, I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying he's a good guy. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm just saying that there was a narrative being painted, and if there's one thing I've learned in the past, usually when the Western media paints an individual as bad, a lot of times it's not the way it is. A good example is Muammar Gaddafi. That man did a lot for his country. He did a lot of things, and because he wanted to sell his oil without using the petrodollar, this man was murdered. Okay, a lot of y'all know that. Same thing with Saddam Hussein. He was a tool used by the West to control his country, and he had that country on lockdown. But as soon as he wanted to use the euro instead of the petrodollar, you know what I mean? I mean, you saw what they did to him. So there's more to the story, guys, and in this case, there's a lot more than what's being said. Now, one of the things that I noticed, and I'm gonna give credit where it's due. I just saw a video a little while ago from what's it called? I'm gonna put it in the description, guys. I watch his videos all the time. I can't believe I forgot. Guns Coast to Coast. I'm sorry, yeah, Guns Coast to Coast. I always see his videos. Love his videos. He's just very blunt. You know what I mean? But anyway, he was mentioning how they're using the word, instead of saying Kiev, right? That's the way I learned how to say it, Kiev. In school, in the history book, we always hear Kiev. Well, when all this went down, just I mean, I'm talking about literally this week, I started hearing people calling it Kiev, which is how, from what I understand, is that's how the people in the Ukraine pronounce the city of Kiev. They pronounce it Kiev. But I just found it funny that all of a sudden, uh, people are using that word Kiev. You know what I'm saying? And I was wondering, like, why? I mean, I understood that it had something to do with, they're pushing some kind of not so much an agenda, but it's like these the trendsetters and the influencers, when they want to bring across an idea or bring some kind of trend in. You have these influencers and what they call influencers, and these people, marketing on in social media. They want this idea or this word or this kind of movement, and they'll put it out there. It's rarely grassroots, guys. It's always artificial. It's always uh, some kind of a manipulation, right? And most people will go along with the new trend. So I knew it was something to do with that. I just wasn't really catching it, but I knew there was something going on. But anyway, again, Guns Coast to Coast is he mentions how they're starting to use that word Kiev, and I'm sure y'all have heard of it too. You've heard people start pronouncing it Kiev. Um, I say Kiev, just because that's the way I learned how to say it. Um, but my point is, guys, is that it's an example of how the media tries to manipulate and shape our our our, our perception of how we perceive reality. Okay, of our reality. They try to shape that, and it's it's kind of like Plato's cave, the allegory of Plato's cave. I mean, to me, they're that fire in the background, throwing that light, and those are the shadows we're seeing, and that's the media. That's the way I see it. But anyway, guys, um, a lot going on, a lot more than what's being reported. I'm not gonna be a hypocrite, okay, and say that you know that America has to get out of there. We don't belong anywhere out there, guys. We do not belong in the Ukraine. We do not belong in the Middle East. But the fact of the matter is that our way of life here, the way we're living, is because the military industrial complex has taken the military, and we've done so much, cost so much, that we've literally shaped the planet. The financial system, the petrodollar, the US dollar, that if all that stuff, the world stops using it and the military's not out there, our way of life is going to change. And I think it should be changed for the better, because if the economy, the world economy, was to just be grassroots and just let the economy be, we have a better life, guys. But before then, if this petrodollar system goes away, and what we know has to happen, there's gonna be some pain. There's gonna be some pain for everybody, um, generally speaking, because our way of life is based on that petrodollar. We've literally, we have not produced anything. We've produced the petrodollar, and the rest of the world took the inflation. You know what I'm saying? They ate it up. And we got the cheap stuff. But that's another subject. But anyway, guys, my point is that there's a lot more going on than what we're being told, than what you know and it's also a part of the fog of war, guys. You're seeing so much misinformation and disinformation, little nuggets of truth here and there, some half truths, you know misleading bits of news and stuff like that. um, we have to just be very mindful of what we're taking in. um, in the big picture for right now, um, we have to. It's like this, guys. The people are the ones that always suffer. The governments, and then at the direction of the bankers and the ruling class, they take their directions, and then they lay the bullshit on us. So the people are the ones, the everyday man and woman are the ones that suffer. The everyday man and woman are the ones that do the dying out there in the battlefield, because bringing about the agenda of these people. That's the way it's always been. So big picture, guys, it will affect us. It will affect what's going on over there in Europe, in the Ukraine. And I think we should keep the Ukrainian people in our prayers. Anybody involved, we're just pawns being used, and people just, you know what I mean. I've been reading how Putin has been directing his forces. The Again, we don't know what's going on. From what I understand, it's generally, um, in the outskirts of the main cities. It's the damage is being done, kept to military bases. That's what's being reported. Um, but either way, the people got to be there. The kids got to be seeing these bombs go off and airplanes flying overhead and rocket fire, and that's got to be a nightmare. It has to be a nightmare. I mean, modern day warfare. it's it's not for the faint of heart, guys. I mean, it's not. I'm not gonna say it's not natural, because humanity, we've been warlike from the beginning of time. People have not elevated so much in their minds, to live like we're supposed to, civilized manner. But anyway, guys, what I do know for sure is all of these things are a part of what's going on right now. Are the sign of the collapse of the pretty much the planet. Um, these are just little signs. They're trying to bring it about faster. Who knows what the other undercurrents are, trying to bring about the destruction of fiat currencies, and bringing about that reset, the fourth industrial revolution. These things are all connected. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend to know how exactly they're connected, but that's what it is. These are the birth pangs, of the new paradigm coming in, and the death throes of the old paradigm going out. That's the way I see it. So anyway, guys, and again, what I was gonna say was, prepare yourselves. You know, not just with the with what you're gonna need to eat, stuff like that, but spiritually. So just keep stocking, guys. Keep stocking. Once you have your food, try to take care of your life financially if you can. Anyway, guys, just wanted to sit here real quick and talk to y'all, and share my thoughts. And let's keep pretty much everybody. Let's keep everybody in our prayers, guys. The whole world, because the whole world is we're under attack right now. Okay. Anyway, y'all take care of each other and love each other out there, because that's what we're here for. God bless.